I get a lot of emails from people who are wondering if they could be a medium, and they feel that they are, or they feel like someone that they know, their child, or a loved one of theirs may be a medium, and they wonder how to tell for sure. So this video is for you. 10 signs that you are a medium. Number 1 is, as a child, you were extremely sensitive to presences around you. And especially at night, you were very sensitive as a child to presences around you. And this could have made you very frightened at times, because you were most likely feeling both negative and positive beings at different points. So for a medium, oftentimes, especially as a young child, it can be quite alarming to feel a presence like that, especially to feel a negative presence, a negative entity, and especially at night. You may have also had frequent nightmares as a child, and this could have been coming to you from these entities that were around you that wanted to basically feed off of your fear. That's what negative entities do. They want to pull you down into their state, and they want to be able to absorb your energy, and so they try to make you afraid. And it's pretty easy to make a child feel that way. A lot of people feel like all children are sensitive in this way, but as a for instance, Wolf is one of 4 siblings, and he was the only one of all of his siblings to have frequent recurring nightmares, and also to constantly feel presences in his room, especially at night, and to be very frightened by those presences. So this isn't something that all children experience on a frequent basis. They might be frightened here or there, and that could be normal, but to be frightened all the time, to constantly complain of presences that you're feeling at night in your room and that they're alarming you, there's a very good chance that this child would be a medium, or that you are a medium if this is something that you frequently experienced as a child. And this fear of negative entities may have even lasted into your teenage years or even into your adulthood. Another sign would be that as an adult as well, you frequently can feel presences around you. You feel like somebody is there, somebody is watching you. You can sense the energy of a being around you. If you experience this frequently as a child, and you're not experiencing it as an adult, that really doesn't necessarily exclude you from being a medium. What that might mean is that actually you shut your gifts off. And a lot of times this can happen because many mediums who go on about their experiences can experience ridicule, and that can be a reason that they want to turn them off. Or for instance, with me, growing up, I was constantly extremely fearful of entities at night, and sometimes I would see them, and I would always sense them, and I was extremely afraid to see a negative entity. And so I started literally praying, since I was raised in Christianity, please God, please don't let me see anything. Please don't let me see anything. And I would be praying this, and after a while, I lost my ability temporarily, you can get it back, temporarily to see entities or energies out in front of me, and that wasn't occurring. I was still psychic, I was still having other occurrences of mediumship, but I wasn't seeing entities out in front of me. And so to various degrees, or maybe even completely, you may have shut your gifts out. So for various reasons, being here on the earth plane, you may have shut those out. Number 4 is that you always felt a benevolent presence watching over you. And despite any fears that you may have had, still, at the same time, you would feel this benevolent presence as well at times, and you would feel that you were divinely protected. You were strongly pulled to the idea of a benevolent being, such as God or angels, or simply strongly pulled to spirituality in general. And this may have, and probably did, come from your experiences with both negative energies that you sensed and positive energies that you sensed, and could have included this benevolent presence that you would feel watching over you. 6, when you are attempting to go to sleep and you shut your eyes, you start seeing faces out in front of you with your eyes shut. You will see faces, or you will see eyes staring at you. And now we'll get into some of the more obvious ones, like you had a dream or a vision, or multiple ones, of angels or guides or a crossed over loved one who visited you and was speaking with you. And number 8 kind of goes along with that, which is that you had a premonition of someone's passing. And this premonition could have been a feeling that something was going to happen to them, something was going to go wrong, or some type of vision, something that you saw, or simply a knowing. You knew that this person was going to transition to the other side before they did. Number 9, you often heard a voice in your head, or you sometimes heard a voice in your head, and this gave you helpful information or accurate information. And so you learn to trust this voice. Now, obviously, thought forms can get in, they can get through. And so, again, this doesn't exclude you from being a medium if you had something that gave you inaccurate information at one point. But at some point, you had a benevolent being guide you through clairaudience, speaking to you in your mind and giving you some kind of helpful advice. And number 10 is even more obvious. You had at least one experience where you saw a spiritual entity out in front of you visibly. Now, you may not have experienced all of these 10 signs, especially some of the more obvious ones towards the end. You may not have experienced all of those, or you may have experienced them, but it was when you were very young. Like when you were very young, you may have seen entities out in front of you and you just don't remember it. But if you have experienced 60% or more of these, then there's a very good chance that you are a medium. Namaste.